Hello everybody, my name is Mark and welcome to my suburban plantation. My wife and daughter Bella and I have lived here for 15 years building the house. Now that the house is done, we're going to be concentrating on the outside doing projects around the yard. This is the first of hopefully many installments on our trip towards self-sufficiency. Now let's go for a quick walk around, see what I've got going, and see what I'm going to do in the future installments. Okay, the biggest problem we've had in the limited amount of gardening and food raising we've done here, the deer are horrible. So what I've started to do this year, we're going to fence the entire, I think it's a little over 1.5 acres. We're going to fence the entire 1.5 acres in. And I started with the vinyl fencing on the front of the house. I have wood fencing on the other side, a part of the property line. And then we're going to do the rest of it in welded wire, 6 foot high, and that'll keep the deer out. That's one of the main things because we can't do anything and the deer eat everything. So let's take a walk over. Let's go over and see the chickens. You can see what I got going on with the chickens, and then we'll go from there. Okay, now we're over at the hen house. And forgive me folks, I'm not the best movie maker. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, so just bear with me. It'll get better in time. This is a hen house. Right now I've got 7 hens. One of them's molting, so she's not laying eggs. They were a year old in June. I started out with 25 total chickens, 10 meat chickens, the Cornish rock hybrids. They got to be about 8-9 weeks old and they were slaughtered. I took them to a place in Wales Center. A couple dollars a piece, all butchered, shrink wrapped, just like you get at the supermarket, which is perfect. So I wound up with 9 total girls, and a couple weeks ago a stray dog came and killed 2 of them. So now I'm left with 7. So I'm getting about 6 eggs a day, which is a lot. I think the perfect flock for a small family is about 3 or 4 hens. You get 2-3 eggs a day, 4 eggs a day sometimes. That's perfect. That's all you're going to use. And most of your feed needs can be met with table scraps. Now this is some scraps we had from dinner. We had spaghetti and salad, garlic bread. I make the bread. We'll show that in an episode. It's a no-knead recipe. It turns out awesome. And the carrots and onions are from the garden. Let's feed some scraps to my girls. Come here, girls. Come on. Let me get it. Now the fence system I'm using is a semi-permanent fencing by Ken Cove. I bought 2 sections, one 100 feet and one 80. I think it was around $300. And I rotate the pasture for the chickens. Every month or so I move it around, change its shape. It's real easy to move. If you look down there, you can see the tall grass from where it was. On Saturday, my daughter and I moved it. Now we'll leave it up here, and we'll let the girls work on this for about a month. And then we'll change it again. All right, now we move down a little bit. I've got 9 blueberry plants. I've got 3 each, 3 early, 3 mid, and 3 late season. Because of the deer problem we've had, some of the big ones here I've had for years, and they've never really been able to do anything. Over the last year, I've really been hitting it hard with deer spray, and the deer kind of left them alone, and they're starting to go. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I planted 5 smaller ones this year, varying success. I think I may have lost 1 or 2 of them. In the spring, we'll replant again. Because there's one thing, I just never give up. I keep doing it. Let's take a walk over this year. I also planted raspberries. Now there's not really much to see because they're a little overgrown with weeds. But hopefully sometime this week I'm going to get out here, weed it and mulch it and get them ready for winter. I planted these late. They were heritage style, and what you're supposed to do is grow them, and in the fall you mow all the canes, and next year they'll set one crop. I didn't want to have it to get into pruning them and last year's canes and new canes and all that, so I kind of like the heritage thought about it. I'm just going to mow them when I'm done, and next year they'll start up again. And another thing I planted this year was some elderberry bushes. I got a total of four bushes, 2 Adams, 1 Nova, and I can't remember the name of the other one. But that way they will cross-pollinate each other. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like I said, I've been spraying them real heavy with the deer repellent, and it's been working a little bit because the deer kept mowing them right back to sticks. They weren't going anywhere. So, hopefully they'll be okay for the rest of the summer, and I'll have the whole place fenced in, and that'll be it for the deer. Now, let's take a walk over and look at the bees, the little sugar factory. Alright, now we're in the back of the property. You can see there's the back of the house, the hen house, the garden, the vinyl fence I just put up. Now we're back here in the back 40, and this is my beehive. I started this in, I'd like to say April. I bought a nuke. That means I bought 5 frames of established bee colony from someone. Bought all my hives and everything from offline from, I think it was Day Dance. Kind of expensive. I must have $300 or $400 in everything. Fed them. They kind of slacked off eating the prepared food I was giving them, the sugar water, the syrup water. They've got the 2 bottom supers filled. Let's go take a look real quick and see how they're doing on top. Oh, they've drank all their sugar water. Let's put them back in there. We'll take that and refill it. I'll close it up real quick. One thing I learned about bees, they're fine as long as they don't get bumped around too much. Then they start to get cantankerous. So we'll do this quickly. We'll take a look in here in the top and see what we got. Oh boy, there's a lot of bees in there. Really nothing yet up top. They haven't started filling the first, a little bit here and there. Let's take a look real quick. No, nothing really. No. But there are plenty of bees in there. Let's get this closed up. That's that. And the top. Let's leave them alone. Hopefully I'll get a little bit of honey this year out of them, but certainly next year I'm looking forward to it. Why don't you give them a shot of all my girls coming and going out of the entrance. Alright, that's good, honey. Alright. Now let's go take a look at the garden. Now this part I just moved their free range pasture, and this is where the dog killed one of them a couple weeks ago. Okay. Alright, now we're back in the middle of the yard again. Just to the left of those trees, all that bush, I'm going to clear that all out. Now the fence will wrap around the back of the property. I'm going to clear that all out, and that's where I'm hoping to put my pigs in the spring. 2 pigs. You know, we'll see how that happens, and we'll try to make it happen. Now this is the big orchard. Up top we've got 2 apple, red and golden delicious, 2 peaches, a Bartlett, and I can't think of the other one. And to the far right we got 2 peach trees. Now they were savaged by the deer this summer, so they're now just starting to come back. Hopefully they'll be fine. And over winter and next year they'll do some heavy growing so we can get some fruit going on here. Now let's take a walk into the garden and see that mess. Okay everyone, once again the deer. This was our bean patch. Got some beans out of it, but the deer came in and cleaned it out. Same thing with the corn. You know, we'll be lucky to get a dozen ear of corn out of this. This was the broccoli and herbs. We did get some good broccoli off of it. It's obviously done, overgrown with weeds. It's embarrassing, but it is. This was our carrot and parsnip patch, which the deer cleaned out on us. Thanks, but we got nothing out of here. And now here's our tomatoes. We did the Brandywine heirloom and an heirloom Roma tomato. And we have Blight here this year. So the tomatoes are just about had it. We're gonna get a half dozen or so. Pick the green ones, do the best we can. Over here, this was a raised trellis system I was going to do my acorn squash on. And cucumbers, because we like making pickles and we love acorn squash. But it got so big, and then kaboom, we have Blight. So the garden this year is, we live in upstate New York, western New York, and it was a very cold, wet summer. So we have tons of Blight. Nothing really took off like it should have, and that's that. You know, like I always say, you know, nothing's perfect, and it's always, we'll do better next year. Okay, now we're at the back of the house now. These are our flowers we grew from seed. We have zinnias and hollyhocks. Some an old-fashioned hollyhock, some of the new double ones. They turned out great. I actually do a good job. Oh, look, we got a bumblebee over here. Now, I actually do a pretty good job with the seed starting. I started a lot of these in February and it was way too early. Should have waited another month till early March. This year we're going to, we're going to do a complete series of videos on that, how I start my seeds. I've got a rack system in the basement, fluorescent lights. We'll show all that, and I'm also going to show, saving seeds. Now, that's pretty much a quick overview. There's a million other things going on, a million building projects, million upkeep that I'll do, and I always say it's not really a how-to, it's how I do it. It may not be right, but it's how I do it, and that's what it is. So, folks, I certainly appreciate watching my first video on my new channel. Please subscribe. Any questions or comments, certainly, click on the comments and share your thoughts with me. What do you want to see? What are you interested in? What's your bag? I want to know about it, and we'll try to accommodate. And please give me a chance. It'll get better. I can't put out videos every day like some people do, but I'm going to try my best to do as many as I can. Day-to-day activities that I do that some might interest you. Any suggestions, let me know. And if you see me something doing wrong, you let me know too. And if I'm doing something right. Thank you very much. Please subscribe and keep watching.